give us an advisory that they would have a briefing here at some point. So we're assuming fairly soon.
Yeah, we don't know the timing of this, but they're telling the media we're to stage for a briefing on what MPD is calling a critical incident. Now, those are two very important words to us and to you at home. A critical incident, as defined by Milwaukee police, is any incident in which the actions of a department member result in death or great bodily harm to a person. So this is all fitting together now with what we understand. We've got a number of people transported from the scene for what our sources are telling us is an officer-involved shooting. Milwaukee police now calling it a critical incident. So that is just one more piece to the puzzle. So we expect to get briefed by Milwaukee police shortly here on an officer-involved shooting where a number of people that we don't know were injured and transported from this scene here at I-43 to south of Capitol Drive.
We know at least three people were taken to a hospital in a shooting and police pursuit, and we are now learning that it is a critical incident situation where we are standing by for more information as to what happened. You are looking at drone video of the scene right now. It all centers on that white vehicle that you see next to that cement truck in the construction zone of I-43. This is the northbound lanes north of Locust, and it has caused a huge backup on the freeway stretching onto 94 westbound in those lanes, and south likely as well, and coming in from the north. At last report, more than an hour and a half or so if you wanted to get from Brown Deer to the Marquette interchange. And the freeway here is quiet. There's no traffic. Both sides of the freeway still closed. We're going on about 2 hours now of the freeway being closed because of this critical incident as described by Milwaukee police.
Again, this all beginning around 2:30 in an area near downtown. We know it started in District 1, which is the district that involves downtown. No specific address that we can give you on that. Got onto the highway. We have two pieces of video from our partners over at Safety Vid. They provide this video exclusively to TMJ4. The first bit of video shows the small white SUV squeezed so tightly between two other vehicles on 43 that it clipped one of them. And directly behind it were a number of Milwaukee police squad cars in pursuit. And then we see a little bit further north, as we get closer to the construction zone, that white SUV being pursued again, this time on the wrong side of those construction barricades. Drove there for a little bit until that white vehicle you see at the middle of your screen came to a stop behind that concrete mixer. This is where an officer-involved shooting happened. Again, a number of people transported from the scene as a result of that shooting.
You are watching TMJ4 as we stay on top of this breaking news right here. We first got on the air about 3 o'clock this afternoon, and we've been able to piece together a lot of information, but we are still standing by to hear from Milwaukee police to have them tell us what happened. They are describing it as a critical incident, which usually means it involves a Milwaukee police officer somehow with shots fired, and usually a person has died. We know 3 people were taken to hospitals related to the incident that you see on the left-hand side of your screen.
Yeah, if Milwaukee police are calling this a critical incident, it means a Milwaukee police officer has either killed or gravely wounded an individual. In plain English, that's what critical incident means to you at home. The Milwaukee police officer has either killed or gravely wounded an individual in the course of doing their job. Again, this is what the freeway system looks like right now. It is just an absolute mess. Nothing is coming through I-43 north or southbound under Capitol Drive. We know the southbound closure is at Keefe. We don't know where the northbound closure is, but I'd have to think they'd be pushing everybody off either there at the Capitol Drive exit, which is really going to be making that a little bit of a mess right now as well.
Our Mariam Mackar is near this location here and joins us live now with more on what she's seeing on the ground there. Hi, Mariam.
And Steve, yeah, as you can see from the shot that you're looking at right now, the freeway is still a ghost town as these investigators continue to piece together what has happened. As Steve mentioned just a few minutes ago, we now know that this is in relation to a critical incident, which means that someone from the department, some actions resulted in death or great bodily harm to a person. We saw 2 people being taken onto stretchers and ambulances just an hour or so ago. And our other crews are heading to a media briefing right now where hopefully we'll get more information on what exactly this critical incident is, how that came to be. But these investigators are still staying put right here surrounding that white SUV that we believe to be a part of this incident and staying put on the freeway here, which is still closed. As you can see, it's empty. You haven't seen a car go down in a few hours now, which is a bizarre sight for I-43. So we're waiting to hear more about what exactly the details of this critical incident is. We'll bring you the very latest, but our crews are heading to that media briefing as we speak. Susan and Steve.
Mariam, I know earlier that you and our photojournalist Dan Seelan there did see someone being taken into an ambulance. Have you seen any type of movement at all since then?
Susan, no, we haven't. Once that Bell ambulance left the scene and some fire trucks left the scene, it's been pretty stagnant. Just the same squad vehicles that have been here for the past few hours and about a dozen or so officers and investigators just staying put and kind of holding down the fort here in this area, but not much more movement has happened here.
And what are the side streets looking like where you are? Are they backed up? Both sides of the freeway still closed here, going on about 2 hours.
So where I'm standing, which is on 9th Street here, parallel to the freeway, the side street is not backed up. Right when we arrived here about an hour ago, it was completely bumper to bumper. I think that was before folks were aware of what was going on I-43, so they were all being diverted to this immediate side street. So that has thankfully cleared up where I'm at. I've heard reports from some of my other colleagues who are on other side streets in the area saying those portions are still heavily influenced with traffic because of this. But from where I'm standing right now, it seems people have heard the message and are taking different routes and trying to avoid this area, which is good to hear.
All right, Mariam, Mackar, out there in the middle of all of this. I hope you're not watching us through TMJ4.com or through the app while you're stuck in traffic in the middle of all this with Mariam right now. It's going to be a long time before this is cleaned up. Again, this has been called a critical incident by the Milwaukee Police Department. That indicates that somebody is either gravely wounded or has been killed by a Milwaukee police officer. That requires a special investigation, which requires a lot of time. And if you are trying to get somewhere right now through here, that is not what you want to hear, because that time means they're going to have this freeway shut down for quite a while as they do this critical incident investigation. It means an outside agency will now come in and take control of investigating the actions of Milwaukee police officers, and we don't even know if they're on the scene yet.
In the meantime, we are standing by for a Milwaukee Police news conference that we are expecting here at some point. They did not give us a time, but they did give us a staging area. That staging area is a place for media to go to where members of law enforcement will then explain this critical incident. So we at least have that, but no time was given as to when that might happen. So in the meantime, we continue to gather information. You're looking at drone video. It's live drone video right now of the scene on I-43. North and southbound lanes remain closed. Heading north, they're taking people off the freeway at Locust, so keep that in mind. Travel times have just been really long in most places surrounding this part of I-43.
Is Andrea Albers still hanging out with us here in the studio? Yeah. Andrea, do you know where the southbound traffic is being diverted?
Yes, I do. So southbound traffic, I'm looking at the DOT map right now, and according to the latest alert from 511, I-43 South is closed from Capitol Drive. That's where we believe the closure begins. And you can see here on our DOT metro area travel map, this gridlock just continues. It's getting messier and messier as we get deeper and deeper into rush hour here. And I want to take you a little bit closer here if we can. You can see some of these backups, as we've been talking about, extending onto 94, and there's been a crash that has popped up, which is just adding to the chaos on the roadways. So things are really not looking great out there for drivers all across the metro area. Here's an idea of some of the speeds. You can see I-43 South still moving pretty slowly. Looks like things are starting to open up a little bit as you get further away. That has, that data had updated right as I was clicking on it. But I do want to show you some of the drive times here, and this illustrates what we're looking at all across the area. State Fair Park to downtown is a 15-minute drive right now. Zeta Good Hope, 17 minutes. And Brown Deer to Marquette, still 74 minutes. We've seen that creep as high as 80 minutes, 85 minutes, 86 minutes. So still really a mess out there. If you have plans to be on the roadways, take some time before leaving. Look at whatever app or device you use to plan your route and be aware of what's happening right now across the area.
Brown Deer to Marquette, that was as high as what, 82, 84 minutes or so?
Yeah, into the mid 80s. So we're seeing it fluctuate a little bit. And up north near Brown Deer, we're seeing the slowdowns start to lessen. But to the south, it's really becoming a mess.
All right, Andrea Albers, thanks so much for keeping an eye on traffic for us. And as this situation on I-43 northbound continues to unfold, and here is that safety exclusive video that we're going to show you here. You saw that highlighted. That's the white vehicle in question here. Yeah,
this is earlier on, you know the red Leinenkugels building right there just to the east of the northbound lanes. This is early on in the pursuit. So what we're able to do through this safety vid service that we here at TMJ4 use to monitor the DOT camera system is we can go back in time and follow something in reverse to kind of figure out where it began. So we're going to have another piece of video. This is the next step in that process. This is that white SUV a little bit further north coming up towards Keefe on the wrong side of the construction barricades. That's a Milwaukee police squad car behind it right there. It goes under the overpass right there, and the whole thing ends right where we've been showing you for the last 2 hours almost now, right behind that concrete mixing truck. We have a piece of scanner audio to play for you now to show you what happened when police walked up to that white car after it crashed.
3233, officer involved. All officers are okay. I-10 still in the vehicle. There's additional squads at Midland Point.
So we'll walk you through that. Officers have everybody in the vehicle at gunpoint. Officer involved. That tells us officers fired shots at the vehicle. We also heard him say that all the officers were okay. And right when you started talking, I was looking, we do have some new video that is into our newsroom, and I was just looking at it to see if I could see that white vehicle. So apparently we also had this video shows the car going east on a Highland, followed by 3 squads and the vehicle going in the wrong direction, and they get on the interstate from Highland right by that Leinenkugels building. And so we are trying to get that on the air. Do we have that for our viewers right now? Okay, I'm told to stand by. Yeah, we're going to turn that around. Working to get that for all of us to see here together. All right, let's all watch it together here. You see that little white SUV going over the bridge at Highland. It's going to make a left turn onto, I believe that's 6th Street, which will also become the ramps to get you on 43. So this is, again, you see those black Milwaukee police squads in pursuit. I count, so I see the white SUV, and then I see 1, 2, 3 Milwaukee police squads in pursuit on Highland, and then that all gets onto the highway, which then fits to the next piece of video we have of that little white SUV squeezing between 2 other vehicles, clipping one of them in the process with those same Milwaukee police squads in pursuit. So we're now tracing this back. Again, we knew this was starting in District 1, which is the police district in the downtown area, and this now gets us to Highland Avenue. And it was a little hard to tell, but it was going in the wrong direction, going on that overpass before taking that left onto the freeway. Good eye, Susan.
just piecing together another piece of information there as this is the drone shot of the location on I-43 where the freeway is still shut down in both directions as the investigation continues. And I'm really interested, we were standing by for an update from Milwaukee Police. If we can take this live picture where media has assembled near this location. It's called a staging area. Our crews are there, and you can also see a lot of traffic backed up because the freeway is shut down, and so it's just causing a traffic nightmare for so many people who are just trying to go about their afternoon today, but cannot, and have this big diversion because of this police shooting that happened on the freeway.
As we look at the drone shot there, it looks like some of those investigating agencies that you would expect to see after an officer-involved shooting are beginning to arrive. Those vans that you see right there are likely related to the crime scene investigators that now come in after an incident like this. Let's get to Jenna Ray now on the ground to tell us what things look like from where she is. Hey, Jenna.
Hi, Susan and Steve. We're on the corner of Dr. MLK and 7th Street, right at the intersection where it merges. And we are, sorry, I'm hearing some interference. We are at this intersection because this is where Milwaukee police say that they're going to meet and brief us about what is going on. For the last several minutes, we've been talking about the fact that Milwaukee police are calling this a critical incident, and that means that any incident in which an action of a department member, I should say, resulted in death or great bodily harm. Again, we do not know the specifics of those specific details, but we are waiting here and waiting for Milwaukee police to give us some sort of update. We're hoping within the next few minutes.
All right, our Jenna Ray on the ground there, standing by for that police news briefing. I'm sorry, producer Brianna, can you tell me who's ready? Okay, our Mariam Mackar is now ready to give us what she is seeing from her location. Mariam?
Hey, Susan. Yeah, we've stayed put in the location that we've been, which is on 9th Street, parallel to 43. And we really haven't seen any movement from police officers. We've seen a number of pedestrians walking on that pedestrian bridge that has been closed off to try and get a better look at what's been going on I-43. But just a few minutes ago, some officers have cleared them off that bridge, which is closed by police tape. A lot of side streets are also closed off as this investigation continues. As you saw, our Jenna Ray is standing by at that media staging center where we are hoping to get more details on what this critical incident is. But we haven't seen any movement here on I-43 where this investigation took place. So we're still waiting to see if anything changes where we're at. But for now, the freeway is still very much closed from both directions. Susan, Steve?
All right, our Mariam Mackar reporting on the situation on the ground there. Mariam, thanks very much.